make this live video to update our community, our friends and families about our new project. As you know, this building by the end of 2018. We got together as a community and we completed the full price of the building, and it costed us $1.3 million to buy this property. It's a 25,000 square foot property right on Columbia Road at the Detroit Road intersection, about 300 feet from the I-90 ramp. We will take a tour together through the building. We'll show the inside, we'll show the main areas, and we'll touch on the phases of renovation of the building, so everybody can get a feel about the next stages in creating usable space for our community in this community center. Please come with me. So this was used as a fitness center. It was built in 1984, and since then it has been used by different companies as a fitness center. So a lot of transformation needs to happen for us to use it as a community center and a mosque and do the activities that our community need inside here. So this is the lobby of the building. There are things that is not going to fit our scope of use, so we will get rid of them. Obviously, this desk is not going to be here, but the building is mainly divided into two main floors, which takes up about 80% of the usable space. We'll start with the we will start with the lower level floor. When you enter the building from the door on the right hand side, there is a room, a square room that used to be the weights room. This room is about 2,500 square foot, which is roughly half the size of the current location that we are renting to use for our masjid. It's a very decent space, easily accessible, and we are going to add a second access to this room. If we go down these steps, yeah, there is here a handicap chairlift for handicap brothers and sisters can use it to go to the lower level, because the second way of access to the lower level are these 5 steps here. This is a custodian room where they used it as such, and we have not really assigned it to a specific function yet, but it is not it's not going to be much different from what it's been used for now. This is the pool and health spa level. The pool area starts here. Women's lockers and showers, men's lockers and showers, and then the pool area. The women's lockers and showers is not connected directly to the pool area. The men's is, and we will enter now the pool area to show the size of it and how we propose that it's going to be finished. So this is the main pool area behind this wall. The showers and lockers, the men's showers and lockers. The rest of the pool area has hot tub there, the sauna, which is not functional. But this is going to be demolished and resurfaced because we need all that space for different activities and scope of function for our use of the building. One that most of our community members requested was a funeral body preparation area for preparing the deceased for burial. And behind this wall is the main water and sewer lines for the building. And our engineer and architect chose this section of this hall to be made for such purpose. It also has access to the outside, which we will show when we go outside. This whole area, after demolishing that wall and demolishing the showers and lockers area, is going to be a big hall that can be easily divided into several rooms. That our purpose is to use it for classrooms, activities, different occasions, small or large. So we have a bit of diversity using this area. There is a lot of work that needs to be done on the infrastructure of this specific part of the building because of the effect of the water and chlorine on the fire suppression system and the heating and cooling ducts and so on. So this is going to be a lot of work on this floor. We are planning to get rid of that area over there across where the sauna is to enlarge the width of that hall, and we are also where that glass wall is on the left. We are thinking about opening another access to this hall so it can be suitable for private use while the rest of the facility is being used for something else. Somebody can use this for their own function or their own occasion with their separate entrance for their separate guests. Next to the pool area here, we have a ramp that goes to the outdoor pool area, which is a good size area of roughly 4,000 square foot. So this outdoor area has the outdoor pool, which again also is going to be, this area is going to be, the pool is going to be demolished and the pool filled and resurfaced. We are planning to expand this area. We're going to tear down this wall, and it's going to be the same size as the width of the building, which will take it from roughly 4,000 square foot to about 5,500 square foot. This is area that we are planning to renovate as a multi-sports area, recreational area, outdoors activities, and hopefully in the future we can cover it off as an addition to the building for indoor activities as well throughout the year.
We have to build them up.
Yes. Watch your step.
We have to pull it. Just think that locks. Yeah. Oh, it's cold.
We will go to that room we saw from at the beginning of the tour. This is a room that we envision as a multi-purpose room. Can be used for regular daily prayers or other activities throughout the week. Requires a lot of work as well, but definitely less work than the pool area. Nothing much more to say about this room. So just worth mentioning, phase one is basically working on the demolition of the stuff that we do not need or cannot keep for the scope of our use of the building. As you may know, we will need occupancy permit from the city of Westlake, and we have sat down for an extended meeting with them, and we know what they require us to do, and we are trying to fulfill that to be able to use this building, because as you also know, our current status is that we're renting the place on Center Ridge Road, and we have to pay for the utilities here as well, which has doubled our basic expenses, and we are trying to move in as soon as possible. So we are trying to work on fulfilling the necessities of obtaining that occupancy permit. Now we're going to head to the second level. The second level, if we look here on the left side, there are a few small offices. We have the elevator that comes from the down floor. We have a couple of offices here that we probably will have to use as for other purpose.
Courtroom or
and then this is the entrance to the main hall. On the left here, there is a separate room connected to the main hall. Hold on, let me find where the lights are.
That's what we're trying to figure it out.
Figuring out the light switch proves difficult in this one.
Sorry, I'm not trying to like.
Just move on. Yeah, just move on.
right, until we find the switch to this room, this is the main big hall area, which used to be the exercise room with all the treadmills and ellipticals and so forth. It's a big open space with a walk track up top. Those stairs to the track on both sides are in the middle of the hall, so they'll have to be removed. This space is probably going to be in phase 2, since most of the work on this doesn't involve a lot of infrastructure work. And the ceiling is quite high, so this is not a divisible space, so we cannot use it the same way that we can use the lower level hall where the pool is. This space is about from this wall to here is the same distance as from this wall to this wall. We have the full glass wall there, great amount of light during the day. We have a full glass wall over there, same in the back area. There's a staircase at the end there where it goes to the outside of the building, creating a separate access point for this area. And potentially we will add another access point on this side as well. Again, huge space, potential is great, but it's going to be outside of the scope of phase 1. Most of the phase 1 work is going to be on the first floor, and we may have to use the first floor for a while until we have the funds to fully renovate the second floor. So that the architect is thinking of 3 different layouts for what to use and how to use this top floor. So that's not an urgent issue now, but it's going to be quite an expense, because anything we need to modify has to be done on a steel structure, and cutting through steel and removing steel and stuff like that is quite expensive. Even modifying the rails of the walkway to meet code for kids and young children is a big expense, even modifying the rails. So that's going to be a little on hold until possibly phase 2. The major expenses that we would have for phase 1 is the demolition work and the resurfacing of the pool areas, the infrastructure in terms of heating and cooling, air conditioning, the furnace, the water boilers, any plumbing, all that stuff on the bottom floor is going to be the main scope of phase 1. We have several estimates from different contractors about each of these jobs. It's probably going to be quite an expense, but we have estimated that most of the work that is needed is going to cover possibly half of the renovation cost that we envisioned for this building just in phase 1. We can go back down to show the lowermost level, which is not a full level. Before we go, let's talk about the walk track. They consider it the 3rd level in this building, or the highest most level. Again, these stairs to the walkway, they do not meet code for our use of purpose, because we have young children and kids, so they have to go. Also, the distance between the railings here is too wide to meet code, so we have to think of something which is the same distance as the railing. But the stairs on both sides have to go because they're in the middle of our way anyways. So in phase 1, part of the demolition phase is to take these stairs off. We may have to leave the ramp or the walkway without stairs for a while until we are renovating this section. So we're going to limit access to it by taking the stairs out. And then we will eventually think about building new stairs in the corners of the hall to allow access. And depending on what the architect comes up with in terms of the different layouts for the use of this space. I don't think, I don't know if you want to go up. I don't think you should go up.
No, that's fine. I think we're good.
Again, this is a big glass wall here. Those windows are almost 40 years old, so it is going to be quite an expense to replace them. We were advised by the two engineering firms we approached to replace them after a while, but they said there are temporary solutions to keep them in place and use them temporarily until we have the funds to replace them, because it is quite a cost. This is a whole wall of glass. But it's a great feature in this floor that we will definitely keep. Now we're going to go down back to the lower level and then to the lowermost level. I hope everybody can hear.
Yeah, yes.
Watch your step. Right now we're back on the pool level. There is another quarter basement level that goes down here. Mostly utilities, closets, and a small room that they used as a nursery. We will not use as a nursery. But we probably use it as an administrative room, something like that, or for maybe small activities like art activities and stuff for some children. But this is most of that lower level. There's not much that we need to do except obviously cleaning it at this point. So it's again out of the scope of phase 1, but probably maybe phase 3 we will reach here. Again, a lot of infrastructure work. The fire suppression system is down now. We have to replace this. Believe it or not, this little panel costs $3,000. So we're putting that on hold for now. But this is where most of the electrical is, internet and stuff like that. Some of this is in good shape, but some has to be redone. But mainly in the rest of the building, not in this part. Actually, this part is one of the electrical parts that in good shape. The rough estimate for the electrical work in the building that needs to be done is somewhere between $90,000 and $120,000. So we'll do that in phases as well as we renovate the areas that we need. We have a functional elevator here that goes to the second floor. I'm just going to wait until the elevator opens. The elevator and the handicap chairlift are in perfect condition. They were inspected the last 3 months and passed inspection. Good size. Saves a lot of money if you already have an elevator. We know a lot of facilities who want to install an elevator and the money issue is a handicap for them, but luckily we have one.
Tell them the price of Just to have elevator.
To have an elevator?
Fine.
Yeah, you can have a million. Yeah.
And we have.
It depends on the elevator and how many floors and stuff like that, but somewhere between $250,000 to $500,000. I don't know if you want to go into the women's lockers and shower area.
That's what we're going to
A lot of the demolition is going to happen here. A lot of space. Those walls, those shower walls are poured concrete. So this is taking down those walls is going to be a job, quite a job. So the demo work by itself is going to take close to 60 days. So we are anticipating quite a bit of work on the phase one, but part of it is getting rid of these concrete walls. We're going to create, after we demo this, we're going to create the men and women bathroom, one on each side, and we will use the rest of the space to expand the hall where the current indoor pool is until the end of the building. I think that is kind of I'm not sure about the quickness of the tour, but I think we've covered most of what's in the building now, and some of the things that we already know that we have to do. There's still some space that is not designated yet, and we are working on with our architect to give us more than one layout to choose from. But again, that's phase two. Phase one is mostly demolition and infrastructure work. The last phase of renovating this building would be the outside of the building, which would come probably as phase four. There's also some work that the roof needs, but luckily the roof is in fair shape that can get us through the next 2-3 years before needing major work. But the AC units, the 5 AC units on top of the roof has to be replaced, and that's going to be a big job. Also rerouting the HVAC. The fundraiser is coming up in March 2nd. We encourage everybody to support WCMA, come to the fundraiser, try to make it to the event, make your intention to spend in the sake of Allah, and that's the only intention we do this kind of work for. We are not looking for any benefit or reward in this lifetime. This is our main investment for what comes after. So purify your sincerity in intention, make your intention sincere for the sake of Allah, and contribute however much you can, however much financially or in effort or in activities or in even advice. We appreciate all of this.
Fitness center?
No, it's not anymore. Thank you.
So we had a neighbor here that was thinking about maybe purchasing this building as a fitness center.
No.
But we beat him to it. So with that being said, any questions that I can answer?
We have a question from
Sure.
Sister Mirvat Ibrahim, and she wants to know why don't we keep the nursery room to allow the little children to play while we're praying?
Well, we will have a nursery room. This is why we're going to keep the lower level rooms, this separate room, and the divisions of the big hall that we can divide into any number we want as potential nursery space. But it's better space instead of the lower basement where it's a little decommissioned. It needs renovation. Maybe in the future we will make it into something usable for the kids, but now we have a better idea for them. So we will have something like that definitely, but it's not going to be in the lowermost level where the current nursery is. But it's not going to go anywhere. Again, it's maybe in phase 3, but phase 1 is mostly focused on the demo work and the infrastructure.
Okay. She's also adding to her comment. She's saying her son is a swim instructor and a lifeguard coach.
Yeah.
So she probably wants to know about the pool.
The pool, well, there are, in every idea we get for using the building, there are usually 3 things that come up. The functionality scope of the idea, the legality in terms of meeting code and meeting the requirements of the city, and the liability, the safety. And there are other things that we have to keep in mind in terms of handicap access and things like that. So because the space of the building is divided in 2 main levels, if we keep the pool, it means that we have to keep the showers, and we have to keep not just the same number of showers. Because we are a big congregation, we will have to increase the number of the showers, because the shower number is proportionate to the proposed number of people who are using the facility or the pool facility. So potentially our number is way higher than who was using this fitness center. So we will need even to add showers, which is going to be counterproductive really. Second, the main floor, which is the pool area or the indoor pool and the showers area, is taking most of the lower level. We need a space that can be used as a common open space and also can be divisible into smaller spaces for our teachers to use as educational areas for different age children and so forth. And in big functions or events, we can open the dividers and we have a big hall. Also, if we want to add the body preparation room for burial, it's going to be on that level, and if we do not get rid of the indoor pool, we won't have room to build that room, which is a major requirement for a service that we have to deliver to our community. The outdoor pool area is going to be kind of a multi-sports area, and it's going to be outdoor for a while when we renovate it, but eventually we can make it indoor. But that's going to be maybe stage 4 or 5. As we are a non-profit organization that depends only on donations, and we sometimes through the different months we even struggle to pay bills. So it's kind of hard to gauge when we can achieve these things. So right now we're trying to focus on getting the infrastructure of the building ready for us to move in, to avoid the rent that we're paying in the current facility, and move into our facility and renovate it as we go, provided that we can fulfill the minimum requirements of the city to allow us to occupy the building, and then do the more unnecessary renovations or the renovations that can be delayed at this time to a later time when we have enough funds.
Okay. One of the sisters, Sister Maysoon, is asking for us or the board to please keep young youth activities in mind for boys and girls, like indoor basketball court and volleyball net.
Yeah, we have one of our youth leaders here, and she's keeping me. She's a basketball coach. She is thinking for all the activities that the youth, she's surveying the youth, different ages, different age groups. She's looking for what interests them, and we will include that obviously in the plan. But we have to accommodate different age groups, different interests, different level of expertise, people who like sports, people who don't like sports. We have to keep other activities in mind, and alhamdulillah we have enough room to use for that.
That's
But
why-
that's also something that is gonna happen after we do the necessary stuff.
And that's why we're gonna keep that room.
Yeah, the
On
room that we
side,
couldn't turn on the
short
light
that-
for.
That has the wooden floor.
Yeah, this is a big room. It's a 3,000 square foot room, and they actually our youth have or our youth representatives have chosen as their activity room, and they are thinking about what kind of activities they will be fitting in there. But we are building this for our future generations, so the youth is part of our thought process and our plan.
Brother Firas Safo is asking why you haven't mentioned soccer.
Well, because he's a big soccer fan and he's a good friend of mine, and we play soccer together almost every week. But that has been thought of, and spoke to several of our soccer colleagues and their sons and daughters who are interested. And the outdoor area that is going to be renovated as a multi-sport area is going to be great for that. And eventually we can, inshallah, convert it to an indoor sports activity area as well.
Okay.
Any other questions from the people here?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
When you said one stage, second stage, third stage,
Yes.
How many years in your mind that one stage is 1 year, 2 stages?
No, the stages are basically divided into affordability. So when we can afford to move to the following stage, we move to it right away. If we can afford to move to stage 2 while we're doing stage 1, we will continue.
So it's
If we don't, then we wait until we can kind of collect some more financial support from our community, and then move on to stage 2 and 3 and 4 according to what we can afford. The limit also from stopping at one stage versus the other is what the city would allow us to stop at and be able to use the building. So let's say we do some of the work for stage 1 and we think we're ready to move in, and then they come in and say, no, you cannot move in, you have to do this first, you have to add that, you have to remove that. Then we have to fulfill that before we move in. We are hoping that most of our current activities can fit on floor number 1 once we do the necessary stuff, and delay the decisions and renovations and stuff like that of floor number 2 until phase 2.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Phases are all depending on the amount of the funds we have, just like he explained in detail. The sooner we get the funds, the quicker we finish up. If we get all the funds needed on March 2nd, we are finished with all the phases. So there are no phases, only phase 1. But if we don't, then we move in first. Like we said, and Brother Osama has said, the first priority is to move the congregation from that place to this place. And that's what we have to move forward with. All others, they come with time. Most importantly, what we have to do is to move in. I don't think we will have anything done before the Ramadan, but definitely we're trying to have it before the second Eid. But it all depends on funds. So please, whoever is watching, and if you are or not coming to the fundraiser, my humble request to all of you is to please donate generously. We are very proud of this community. And why? Because you guys all see we did not have enough funds to buy this building as cash. But Alhamdulillah, by grace of God, within 2.5 weeks of all our callings, people donated generously, and we were able to pay this building for cash. So $1.3 million is a big chunk of money. It's not a small sum. So when we can do this, we can come together again and make this building a reality where we can move in as is, not in phases, just one time, get over. Remember, the more delay we do in renovation, the prices keep going up. So the cost of renovating the building from phase 1 to 2 to 3 will also keep going up. So please, donate generously, and please come to the fundraiser.
And one more thing to add is that even after we get the funding for renovation, we still have to look at where we are today. we're still renting at our present facility. There's a cost there, and with that cost, it's not just renovation, it's being able to survive where we are today. And we did spend quite a bit here, so there are less funds. So it is, that's why we're very serious about this fundraising event. And your support is just, this is the time, this is the critical time that we need your support. Otherwise, this building stays and we keep paying for a building we're not able to use.
How much are the costs currently for electricity, gas, all that?
Is that a question online or your question?
No, it's my question. Just like a general idea of maintaining this building without moving in.
I'll start by saying I know how much the previous tenant who was running the facility as a fitness center was paying. And that's public information given to me by the electric company and the gas company when we switched the accounts. They were paying close to $5,800 in electricity every month, and they were paying close to $2,000 in gas every month. And we're talking about winter months because these are the months or fall to winter months, because I have the numbers from September until December. Currently, the building is out of commission. It's closed. Our first month payment for gas was $900. For electricity was $1,800. Even when we're not using the building, it is way less than what they were paying when they were using it. But they were also having a lot of cost in heating the water of the pool and making the building functional and running all the equipment. But that is a concerning number because we will have to use this building, we will have to make it energy efficient, which is a costly job, but we are committed to energy efficiency, and we will try as much as possible to only use the areas that we need to use at any given time. So we'll use our property wisely, but as any property, once you buy your property, it's your investment. You have to maintain your investment. You have to spend money on your investment like anybody's home. This is the home of our community, so we'll have to renovate it, we'll have to maintain it, we'll have to pay the utilities for it, and we cannot do that without everybody's support. And remember, we do this collectively as our most important investment that we can do in our lifetime. I cannot speak enough about that, and I hope everybody who is willing to contribute would make their intention sincere for the sake of Allah and ask for the reward not in this life but in the hereafter.
One more question from Brother Firas Tafo. He's saying, what is the estimate cost of phase 1?
Well, right now, our general contractor and the architect are working on the demolition plan. So demolition has a plan of its own that the city has to approve. And the demolition plan is going to cost, in addition to some infrastructure work, is going to cost close to $200,000. After we do the demo, the building the first floor and making it usable space for us, the estimate is twice as that. So we are looking at initial phase 1 of about $600,000 to $700,000, conservatively, because we have got several quotes. We have a general contractor who's part of our community who is doing some stuff on pro bono basis, but he also has connections and getting us better prices than what we heard from previous contractors. So we are trying to cut costs as much as possible, but we do not want to cut costs on the expense of quality. So we are trying to walk that fine line between good quality and lower cost.
Okay. Brother Elijah Bush just posted saying, I know this has nothing to do with the subject at hand, but I wanted to know, how do I go about converting to Islam?
Well, he is welcome anytime to our current facility that we're renting at 31023 Center Ridge Road.
Yeah.
He can speak to any of us in the congregation, and we hopefully will guide him to what he can and will do to be able to take that step. We are welcoming to people of our faith, different faith, people who want to convert to our faith, or people who want to discuss even different faiths with us. We plan to have this community center and mosque open to our neighbors here in the Westlake community. We are an integral part of the Westlake area. Most of the people who are part of our congregation live in Westlake, and we consider Westlake home, and we would like to be the best neighbors as much as we can, and we are welcoming of all our neighbors in the area, including Brother Elijah.
Okay. One more question from Sister Khalida. She wants to know how, show the Qibla. She wants to know the Qibla direction in this building.
The building, which is one of the things that we have to accommodate in our designs, the building is sideways, north to south. Qibla is 52 degrees to northeast, so it is to this corner of the building.
Okay.
And the architect, we discussed that with the architect multiple times, and he's gonna try and make a design to make it usable and aesthetically pleasing as much as possible.
Okay. One more comment from Sister Mirvat. She says, whoever will share in this great project, it will be Sadaqah Jariyah, inshallah. So, and she really appreciates your efforts. She keeps posting. So,
inshallah, and inshallah, we are praying and hoping that all this effort, support, financially or otherwise, goes into the main investment that we will all, inshallah, reap the benefits of at the right time, which is after we're all gone from this world.
okay.
If there are no further questions, I would like to end this tour, and inshallah, there will always be updates, and we will always announce these kind of visual and video recorded updates, even live ones like this one, and hopefully you can join us in the future for future updates of that sort. Inshallah, we'll see you at the fundraiser March 2nd at La Villa Banquet Hall at 5 p.m. And you can stay with us for as long as 10. We're not staying back beyond 10. Inshallah, all this effort will be felt in the near future, and inshallah, everybody in the community is going to be pleased with the results, with your support and with the grace of Allah. Assalamu alaikum.